My man, we were just saying offline. So everybody got excited. My DMs got filled up once everybody's seen on the nominations for Worlds that you've gone 59 kilos. It's not often that the reigning world champion, and you are the reigning 66 kilo world champion. It's not often the reigning world champion cuts down a weight class. We've seen people cut down, but usually there's a bit of a gap. In my mind's eye, when I try to think about, you're the first I could think of that's cutting down while being the reigning world champ. And you might win back-to-back world titles, two different weight classes, back-to-back years. And when I think, I'm not sure how many times we've seen this happen. But if we back it up anyways, we could put historical significance at another time. Let the fact checking nerds like Eric Helms and Rory Lynch do that job for us. What went into your decision? Why did you decide to cut to 59?
Actually, it was not my decision. Uh, at the table after Sheffield this year, uh, my coach Mike just told me that you should try 59 because I like my morning weight at Sheffield was 63 point something, and then I had
What?
breakfast. And then like okay, and then I still have like some breakfast and lunch and still like have some water before my weigh in anyways, but it's still 65 on at that day. So yeah, next morning my told me like you should try 59. But if you don't like it, okay, you can yeah, just go back to 66. But yeah, that's the that when we start yeah talking about like cutting down to 59. But like my first thought, I never think about it. I mean, yeah, I like to enjoy my food a lot, like recently.
Right. Fair.
Yeah, and then when he came up with this idea, I was like, oh no, I have to cut down. I have yeah.
Well,
Because
okay. First,
yeah, when I stay in 66, like I enjoy food a lot. I mean, I don't have to like have a heavy cut. Just like feel just only 1 month of like eat a little bit less, but I still can enjoy my buffet like at least once, twice a week.
oh my God. Buffet? Dude,
I like buffet.
normal people don't get to do a buffet twice a week. Okay, so you were living the life. It sounds like you're just living a normal life now as opposed to sacrificing too much. And Thai food's amazing. I don't blame you
Yeah.
but Thai buffet twice a week. Holy smokes, my man. Um, so were you always like when you won the world title? What did you weigh in at? Like, where was your body weight when you won worlds in Lithuania?
65.1 or point 2 something, but I already have food before waiting.
My man, that is crazy. He's 100% right. Mike T is 100%. Now, first off, being 66 in the first place made sense. You were breaking the world record. You obviously won the world title for sure. Don't cut then. Just see what you could do at around 65 kilos or less. But you realize a guy like Penna, who was like a two-time world champion 66, is walking around like 70, 71. Like he is 5 kilos bigger than you is significant. That's half a weight class up. Like for you to win worlds, break world titles, you have to go against guys who are like half a kilo or half a weight class up from you. So this totally makes sense. Now, up until now, you haven't had to even investigate these possibilities. Um, so, anyways, you go into let's talk about Sheffield a little bit. How was Sheffield? Because you were missing your thirds, still got 715. If Shell didn't exist, 715 is an amazing number. 715 would win you worlds any other given year if Shell didn't exist. So, but for you and your new standard of what you wanted, how did Sheffield go?
Actually not like it's not follow my plan at all. I think because I'm not used to that kind of the weather. It's too cold for me, and like my hand freezing like crazy, and then I couldn't warm myself up. And
Mm.
it's but it's a good experience because if I can go to Sheffield next time, I think I should do something, maybe like have a more warm coat and stuff like during the warm up.
Like actually wear thicker layers while warming up.
Yeah, that's
Like what's
so cold. Like compared to Thailand, it's super hot, and then like I flew there like only like 4 days. Yeah, and then my body cannot adjust to the cold temperature, and
is worlds is
I start to lose my weight.
what's that? Sorry,
That's why I start to lose my weight
is
because
that right?
yeah,
That's one thing that travel does to people that people don't necessarily account for. We see it, obviously the bigger the numbers, like the bigger the gentleman, like Ray Williams has talked about this when he flew to Sweden, which isn't crazy. The flight from America to Europe is nothing like Thailand to Europe, right? It's far more harsh for you, but the amount of body weight he lost that you can lose through travel. People don't necessarily count. Yeah, I mean, you're 30,000 feet in the air, the altitude changing of food, changing of like climate, like you said. And then if it's time zone changes, which for you, like for me and you right now talking, it's a 13-hour difference in time zone. If the World Championships ever lands in North America and you fly over here, that is an impact that people just sometimes don't take account for. 13 hours, adjust to that. It's not as easy as you land, walk off the plane, and your body at certain times will think it's a different day. Not 2 hours, 3 hours. Your body will think it's freaking yesterday. You understand? People don't fully understand what travel can do when you live on the other side of the world. So, anyways, you're dealing with all these issues. At the very least, you didn't have to cut weight because sometimes people are like, how could you possibly miss weight? But with all these variables, if you have a harsh cut and your body can start reacting, you could do all the prep work for cutting weight that is normal. Then when you do a major travel, your body acts way abnormally, and even the best nutrition coaches are gonna suffer and have difficulties because like, look at me, I don't know, your body's not responding like it normally does. This is what happens. Time zones, 30,000 feet, you retain water 30,000 feet, by the way, all the rest of it. But also, even if you don't cut weight, sometimes it's the opposite. Instead of retaining body weight, your body's just shedding. It,
yeah,
it, it acts funny. You don't feel the same.
yeah. I just feel weird, but it's okay. Still can at least I can hit 715.
And this is what I was saying. Only because Shell exists do we talk about 715 in any kind of light that's not like upper end. If Shell didn't drop down, and this is obviously forecasting what we're going to talk about you dropping down, but if Shell didn't drop down, 715 is amazing. 707 and a half won worlds in an amazing battle with the best 66s in the world. So it wasn't comparatively without Shell a bad total by any means. How about Sheffield itself in terms of the experience? And then this is going to be huge for you to because some people experience the Sheffield jitters. And we'll keep talking here, but you're likely, I mean, you are the heavy favorite for 59 kilo class and potentially going back to Sheffield. We'll talk about all that. But, and it's going to be a whole different conversation when you show back up at Sheffield, my friend. A whole different conversation in terms of what you might do at a second appearance at Sheffield. However, getting this out of the way, going through the media, going through what it felt like to be in front of a crowd as ruckus as that, going through all of that, the travel, everything. It's really good primer, if you will, really good. I mean, it's funny to say a test run, but in terms of being ready, you get to check some boxes and be more prepared come the second year. Because come the second year, not to skip ahead, we'll talk about worlds and everything, but it might be entirely different conversation, and there will be inevitably a comparison to Shell in a whole different way, isn't there? Whereas previously you're being compared to Shell directly, head up, as a rival at 66. If we have this conversation leading into Sheffield again, you're going to be compared to Shell as the guy dropping down and potentially doing what Shell did to the 66s. But won't skip ahead. We'll put a pin in all that. Tell me about your Sheffield experience. What was it like in terms of the media engagements leading up to? How was that different for you?
Yeah, like everything like it's totally different from World Championship because I when we fly to World Championship, we don't have to do media stuff, and then yeah, like a lot of photos, a lot of like filming, and also like yeah, still have to like have some like side quest events to do, like yeah,
Right.
yeah, walking around and then look at that, and also like the crowd, the atmosphere is totally different. I mean, it's like I feel like I'm like not like compete in powerlifting. Honestly, it's like I'm doing a concert, like a rock star.
You show up, and for a lot of people, it'll be brand new, but you have an itinerary, a media engagement itinerary where you're doing like you're taking photos and B-roll footage. When people tune into Sheffield, they don't fully understand, but this footage they see, or it shows like all you guys at the Sheffield town hall, or shows like I mean, even like myself when I film pieces of the intro, they splash together. You see like 5 seconds of a clip in that intro. We're there all day filming these things. They see clips of certain athletes in the studio saying whatever sound bites they're looking for. You were in that studio for hours doing an interview. They see a still photo, just a still photo of you guys, and you have some awesome ones. I love the new pose you do, like the pose you do now with the hand out and the whole line, dude. But the thing is, my man, you need those signature poses. You want it so that if there's a silhouette and I can't see who it is, I know it's you. Now you have like you have like the Michael Jordan Nike trademark with him slamming. You want that. It's beautiful branding. Um, but anyways, all of those digital assets, people don't fully recognize that takes a crazy amount of time to put together. And do that, by the way, with a massive powerlifting competition a day out. And do that if you're cutting. Now, you weren't cutting at the time. You're going to be. I mean, again, I keep skipping ahead. I get a little excited. But, picture yourself like Shell, who has a crazy cut. And he's in the middle of either extremely dehydrated or crazy water loaded or whatever it might be, and be sitting through all these media engagements and collecting these digital assets to make this production that everybody watches. And a 15-minute intro took a week to put together. Thank you very much. That's how you make it happen, right? And this is professional sports. A lot of people don't realize what goes behind the scenes. All the big sports we watch, it's totally normal. But for powerlifting, there's literally one event that does this, like at this level, and it's Sheffield. And so for a lot of people, like, oh my God, this is a lot. No, 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 this is professional sports. You're just feeling what it feels like to be a professional athlete, is all. How do you think that was? Did it make you more nervous doing that, or was it a welcome distraction because you have a massive competition going on? But with an itinerary, sometimes if you have things to do leading up, it keeps your mind off of it. How did that affect you?
It I think it does affect me a little bit because I'm not doing like heavy cut like shell because I am still have a living normal life as
Right.
possible. Yeah, so it's just yeah, and I have nowhere to go anyways. So it's just stay around and then okay when I have to do this, I just go because I
Right.
have nothing to do.
Because honestly, I've been in situations where you have nothing to do but wait for the clock to tick down, and you live inside your head. you know, you live inside your head about the battle that's about to happen. And when you did those picks, and you have now your signature pose, where did that come about? How did you come up with that?
It I just like anime is Naruto, but it's a Rock Lee pose like that, like when like he start fighting.
Well, really?
Right.
First off, anime's over my head. I don't get the anime references, but this is huge in powerlifting. I recognize. So whatever it is, what it is. But using that kind of, so you decided, look, this is I'm going to use this for my posing. Is this natural? Did you come up with it, or someone else like tell you to try it, or
I just like random thing that thing I was thinking of. It's just random.
and you decided this is my thing from now on?
Yeah, so they asked me to do whatever like cool stuff. So this post just came to my head and then just post it.
And was it at Sheffield that you did it the first time?
No, because I did with my friend once when he would like to film my Thai singlet. So yeah, he just like asked me to do random posts and then I just like that, just do that.
I'm telling you, have to stick with it. Keep doing it. Make it your signature. You need one. Everyone should have something that makes them stand out like that. Because I mean, it's gold. So how about Sheffield in and of itself? How was the crowd, and how did you react with that? And how did you feel with the 2,500 people? I mean, it's Worlds is getting pretty ruckus. Worlds is not like it was yesteryear. World, you have people stomp on their feet, yelling, hooting, hollering. It's wild at Worlds too, but Sheffield's a whole nother level.
Yeah. Uh, first time I step on the stage, I was shocked by the crowd and then the the sound and the light is so loud and then like my 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 brain just gone. Like
Right.
I was shocked by yeah everything and then yeah just walk and then just lift and then walk back. That's it. I couldn't remember anything much.
Did it do you think it affected your performance at all?
Actually, when it's come to lifting, I'm not really focus on anything else. So I can't hear or see anything except like the head referee. That's it.
Mm. Well, I mean, that's good. If
Yeah.
anything, yeah, your focus gets tested. Um, and when Shell dropped down, and before Shell did what he did, 770, winning Sheffield, whatever. Was your expectations? What was your expectations of Shell? Was that around the number you thought he was going to do?
Yeah. It's I think he can do around like yeah, even more, a bit more, I guess. Because his training looks really strong, I would say. Yeah, and I expect him to do like maybe like 790, something like that.
The weight classes in powerlifting are so big. I mean, you get up to like 10 kilos. That's an insane amount of difference between two different body weights. And I honestly, if you redid the redid the weight classes, Shell is at his best probably around 70 kilos. And at 70 kilos, he could do probably like 825 because he's been 71 and done 825 in the gym. His biggest issue is he's like an in-betweener where at 66, look, he's freaking phenomenal. Obviously, he's got the world record, did what he did. At 74, he's won world titles. He's phenomenal as well. But at 70, I think he could do the exact same numbers as 74, only, whatever, a potential weight class below. It is what it is. But that's kind of Shell's. So I'm interested to see what he ends up doing at World Games when he's allowed to find like an in between weight class, which I got to talk to you about as well. So after Sheffield, sorry, were you at all thinking of leading into Sheffield? I know Mike T threw the idea out to you after Sheffield, and it probably came far more reality when your coach says, "Hey, you're consistently weighing in below the weight class. You are easily not a big cut to 59." And obviously, Shell wasn't even the first one. You got Agatha, you got Evie. Other people are doing this, and it's like a butterfly effect where you watch someone else doing this and be like, could we do the same thing? Even leading into Sheffield, was it ever an inkling in the back of your head? I know you're the world champion 66, so it makes it difficult to leave when there's nothing wrong, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But leading into Sheffield, was it ever even a question in the back of your head?
Yeah. I mean, like Actually, I like to stay 66, honestly, because I can enjoy, yeah, my food a lot. Yeah, but yeah, my coach just say like, if you don't like it, just go back. But if you can do,
Mm.
maybe try. So I decide to try because I have nothing to lose anyway. It's like a good experience for me for cutting down, maybe.
Well, okay, put it this way. In a race, if you're leading, you can, and you're the front runner, you set the pace. In your efforts for setting the pace, you're going to win the race. But when you have somebody that's ahead of you and they're the front runner, you got to catch up. They're setting the pace, and you got to start hustling. And you don't get that. You don't get to. You're in danger of losing. You don't get to win the race at your own pace anymore. It's not the worst thing that Shell drops down. And to your point, 100%, you could have stayed 66 and you're way undersized for 66. Most people are cutting to 66. You literally are 2, 3 kilos below. And you're like, why would I change? I'm a world champ. I don't have to make myself uncomfortable. But when Shell shows up and says, I've made myself uncomfortable, I've sacrificed, I've done all these things to make sure I'm the biggest, strongest 66 the world's ever seen. Now all of a sudden it's going to force you to be like, now I do the same? Do I have to make myself uncomfortable, make sacrifices and everything to potentially be the biggest, strongest 59 the world has ever seen? Let's talk about it. What did you do to start dropping the 59? Nutrition, steps. I seen you're doing 15,000. If I may, that's not a lot of steps. I do 15,000. I'm older, bigger. So I don't feel sorry for you for that. But what did you get a nutrition coach, and what's your calories looking like?
Yeah, so I got peer from she's the lifter from South Africa,
Mm.
Fierce Fuel. Uh, yeah, we worked together before Sheffield actually because I would like to try to have some food before I train. Normally, I train fasted. Yeah, and I would like to try food and then just like have her help to see like what I should eat before I train. But yeah, and then after that, like we plan to yeah plan cut down. Like we start with just bring down calories a bit, maybe like around like 2,200.
2,200 calories?
Yeah,
My friend,
I
Gavin
mean
Aiden.
perfect one.
Gavin Aiden does like 2,400. Something around there. He was on the podcast. I remember asking him, you were almost eating, you do 2,200 to cut to 59?
Yeah, because I usually when I stay 66, I ate like 3,000, 4,000 calories. But when I had buffet, sometimes I even go like almost 10K calories.
You were like a fat guy stuck in a small guy's body.
I like eating.
You have the soul of a fat man. How is it? 10,000 calories is insane. People have to try their heart. I need to see a YouTube video of you smashing 10,000 calories.
Actually, I would love to do, but Pia won't let me do anyways because
Yeah,
I
yeah, no, not now. Not now. Yeah,
after,
yeah.
afterwards, so I still need to maintain this range.
Fair enough. You win worlds. I want one 10,000 calorie day documented. You're gonna destroy a couple buffets. I gotta see this because literally that's how much like strongmen like Eddie Hall, who are 200 kilos, do like a 10,000, but they do it every day. Not like a crazy day. They're literally 10,000 every single day. But that's insane. You have a crazy high metabolism. Insane.
I was like 95 when I was in high school, 95 kg.
What?
Uh, yeah, I have like more than 10K calories a day. Uh, I cut down because we
Wait,
have
how did I not know this about you? You this is you have pictures?
yeah, actually I will send you later.
You gotta send this. This is crazy. So okay, back this up. 10,000 a day? How did you were doing this every day and you were 95 kilos? What did you look like?
It's like it look like a ball.
So what was going on That, oh my God, this went sideways. I got so many follow-up questions now. We'll get back to worlds in a second. What was going on that you were eating 10,000 calories a day and you were a meatball?
Yeah.
What was, how did this happen? What was going on?
But I actually I'm a fat boy since since I can remember until I'm 18. I start to I need to change. And then I start to have only like one meal a day, and then I can cut down a lot of calories out of it. Because I have like maybe f 4 5 meal a day, which is like 3 4 thousand a meal.
Okay, 3, 4,000 a meal is insane. That's more than people. That's that's more than people have it in a day total. Was this like because this is like for a man your height to be for anyone to be eating 10,000 calories. Usually, like strong men like Eddie Hall and them talk about force feeding themselves to be as big as they can, to be as strong as they can, etc. Do you think was this like a to be more on the serious side? Was this a mental health thing? You think even were you trying to cover something with this? Was this an obsessive compulsive thing, or because this is like eating to the point of uncomfortable?
Yeah, usually when I was a kid, I like to eat a lot. I mean, I eat until I cannot.
Mm.
Even sometimes I throw up and then I keep eating it again.
Like in because that's obviously is this something that you've seen in your family before? Do you think there's a reason you were doing this? Because some people do it for a for a comfort. Some people do it. Oftentimes, when it comes to eating, it's a control mechanism. On when people ask why did things go sideways with food? A guy that is was famous early on in the YouTube years, who's from Canada, he had a ton of issues with his family when he was growing up. Mother was sick, father, etc. And he became an anorexic. He later on got into bodybuilding and got huge and super strong and muscular, but he was anorexic. And it's not something that usually plagues men nearly as often, statistically speaking. And when asked, he became super famous on YouTube, millions and millions and millions of people following him. This is Furious Pete, the Furious Pete story. And when they asked why, he said, I had so many things as a kid whirling around in my life, I had no control over, zero. And even though a lot of people can't relate, one thing I could control was my food consumption. And all of a sudden, you become obsessive compulsive, hyper focused in one way or the other. And for me, it became mitigating. And he was hospitalized the whole nine. And because but it gave him a sense of control in a life where he had no control and it was scary. You're a kid, you're going to lose a parent. Like you don't even know. It's world changing. So he hyper focused on that. Now later in life, got into weightlifting and he's incredibly jacked and his story changed. Obviously for you, later in life, you're literally cutting to the smallest weight class in a weight class sport. So there's parallels in terms of like you changing in life and you're like obviously world champion powerlifter, etc. Do you think there was something else to it? Because 10,000 calories, 95 kilos for your height is more than just, hey, I'm a bit of a foodie, right? Like that's a very difficult proposition. What do you think it was?
Mm, I don't know. I mean, like it's just like my natural habit since I was a kid. And also like I decide to yeah, just lose weight because I for my health, and then yeah, I need to be more fit. I don't want to die too soon.
Mm,
Because at this rate, I think I will die soon.
I, honestly, yes. Well, or at the very least, massive health concerns. Like it's unsustainable. How old were you when you made the difference, when you decided to change and cut down the
18.
calories?
Yeah,
18?
18 when is transition between high school to university. So I
Mm.
have like 6 months without nothing. Like have nothing to do for 6 months. And then I start to think maybe I just do some exercise and lose weight and focusing on like my health.
And were you like counting calories or did you just full on cut like a bunch right off the top, or how did you start making that change?
Yeah, I just start like do some research about the calories and also like do a lot of cardio. Like I ran 10 kilometers. Yeah, kilometers a day, and then do some like body weight training.
That'll do it. It's crazy how it is lifestyle, right? Like if you're gonna change completely, usually you gotta drop the hammer and just cut it all out. Some people make like any change is good, but if you're like I'm cutting the calories, do 10K a day, that's a pretty good size amount right there. And weight training. And then when you found powerlifting, by the time you found powerlifting, because I know you started as a 74, but you weren't a full 74. Your first competition was a 74, though.
Yeah, I was 70 something. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, when I competed 74. But like I found powerlifting when I was 22, and then yeah, I think I like this sport because I first thought about this sport. I think like I can eat a lot while lifting heavier.
Mm.
Like I can eat a lot to lifting heavier, and then yeah, that's why I enjoy this sport at the beginning because I think like okay, the more you get jacked, get bigger, so you can eat more, you can get stronger, you can lift more. But right now it's kind of like opposite.
Now I understand the struggle for you when your natural inclination is to eat 10,000 calories. For you to do 2,200 or whatever is got to be crazy for you. Right? which which is still, I mean, obviously when you're doing 10,000 calories, if you got a crazy metabolism like you do, it was, I mean, 95 kilos is far too heavy for a guy your height, but still it's not as crazy as it could be. But my freaking goodness, man, what a journey you've had in terms of body to be now
Yeah,
at 59.
it's like fluctuate a lot. I mean, in my entire life. But yeah, 59, I actually I was 59 before before I start powerlifting.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I cut down from 95 to 59.
That is a drastic change in body. How quickly?
Uh Actually, yeah, around 6 months.
That's insane. 6 months?
Yeah, so skinny. Actually, yeah, I can send my all my photo for you
You
for you.
gotta, I gotta see this. Dude, your journey is insane. So your journey through weight, like body weight, has been crazy. The like you would be like the food consumption to the activity to the size differences is wild. Most people don't ever go through this. So this is a little more the same for you in terms of like dropping from 66 to 59. I mean, we're talking like 4 kilos because you were never even a 66, a full on 66. So this isn't as crazy work for you as it might seem on the surface. You've done far, far greater than this. So going into the world championships, I saw 680 posted up in the gym. How strong do you feel? How do you feel now? Are you still at 66 levels of strength?
Actually, yeah, I feel pretty much the same. Yeah, even sometimes stronger, but like I just had like some viral infection last couple weeks, and then my body feel weak, that usual,
Mm.
and hopefully like I can feel, yeah, get better before worse.
Mm. So when you're eyeing 59 kilos, it's kind of like the conversation Shell when he dropped down from 74. People were wondering, okay, we've seen the 74 numbers. Can he bring his 74 numbers to 66? He probably won't need them. But how close to 74 numbers can he bring to 66? For yourself, this is a bit of the conversation now as well. We've seen your 74 or your 66 numbers rather. You do not need them. Okay? You don't need those to win 59. But now the conversation becomes just like Shell when it's can he be the first 66 to do 800 kilos? And this is still the conversation because he did 770 at Sheffield. He's got work to do. 30 kilos is not a small gap to fill, but everyone remembers the first. Joey B was the first 83 to officially do 900 kilos. Kjell is gunning to be the first 74 to do 800 kilos. Inevitably, the conversation around you is going to be he's already done over 700 kilos. He's done it officially at an international level. He's done it while not even being a true 66. He was under the weight class. We all know this. Very short cut to 59. The conversation is going to be can he be the first 59 to do 700 kilos? What are your thoughts around that conversation?
I think like yeah, so powerlifting sport involve like I mean evolve a lot like past few years. So the number going up like crazy. I think like one day maybe like we can talk about like 59 doing 800 something like that. Yeah, but one day, but I mean, yeah, it's something gonna happen like not today, not tomorrow anyway for the
Or
numbers.
800?
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
even like 700, 59 or maybe like 750, for 66, maybe like beyond 800. And yeah, every weight class, like everything we're gonna go up.
like, do you think, for instance, when we look at the world championships, first off, Waskar had to pull out. When you found out Waskar was pulling out, two-time world champ, back-to-back world champion, very popular. He was at Sheffield. He's the first 59 kilo lifter to go to Sheffield. He's trying to popularize the 59 kilo class. For a long time, the 59 kilo class wasn't given the attention, the credit that it deserves. And Waskar helped add some flavor to it. Got a phenomenal background story. He's great on a podcast. He's bold when he lifts on the platform, throws his hands out, does, he's entertaining to watch. You're a lot of the same. We've seen you in a fantastic 66 kilo battle with some mega stars like Penna involved. We've seen you at Sheffield. So you dropping down helps bring attention. So when people watch 59, they're like, oh, I know this guy. I've seen him before. He's a world champ. But it would have been a little sweeter if Waskar was there. What were your thoughts when you found out he had to pull out due to injury?
Actually, I feel bad and feel sad for him because I know like he is the he he always a king of the 59. And like yeah, I know even like he would like to compete. I think maybe like it's a serious back injury, I guess. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think yeah, everything gonna be the same, even like he compete or not compete. So it's all about like myself, not like compare. I won't compare myself to the others. Anyways,
Hmm.
yeah.
It's, I mean, it's a good way to look at it. You got to focus on yourself. The only thing is like the battle of the 66s that you won at last year's Worlds, everybody will remember that. Everyone who's seen that is going to remember that. I swear, I've been commentating almost 10 years, and you can imagine the amount of sessions I've commentated on, the amount of battles. That was probably the best battle I've ever commentated on at any world championships, my friend. I'll never forget that battle. And it's because you had other people there that were stars. So that's the only caveat is if Wasker was there, it would have been nice to see you guys go head to head in that vein just for that alone. But you're right. In terms of if you win a world title, don't win a world title, like I mean, this is all personal goals, no matter who's there, regardless. What are your goals for the world championship then? When I look at the nominations, Antoine, who's a world champ, Ivan, who's on the come up, there's you got some names that we recognize, but they're floating around the lower 600s. They're over 600, which we needed, but they're floating around the bottom 600s. You've hit, oh, this is parallels. You got to get used to this because it's going to happen to you. Parallels to Shell, 100 kilo gap. Same thing. It's very, very close, mirroring in terms of your story. It's 100 kilo gap, but you're dropping down a weight class. What are your expectations for worlds? What are your goals for the world championships? First time as a 59 kilo.
I plan to break the record. I mean, squat, deadlift, and total. That stood for.
Oh,
I mean, but I wish I may shift 0.5 anyway, if I could.
right. Yeah, and that won't greatly affect any Sheffield ambitions. The world record is 670, right?
669.5.
669.5. Let me pull this up here. And that's obviously Fedoshenko. And that record, my friend, has stood for far too long.
Yeah,
And
12.
yeah, and he's actually I mean, he was on the podcast. He was looking to come back, and that was offset. And obviously, him and Waskar were like circling each other in terms of that potential showdown. But yeah, okay, let's see here. So the squat world record is held by Australia's Kevin Gray, and it's 240 kilos. Holy smokes. You break that. That's crazy for a 59, first off. Bench world record is Fedoshenko, and it's 171.5. We'll probably let him keep that, huh?
I hate
We'll
that.
let, well, yeah, we'll pass on that one. Thank you. Waskar holds the deadlift world record 275.5. The total world record is 669.5. So you would have to do 670.
Yeah, if I could. Yeah, if I can.
And I mean, that'll send a big signal there. So you're thinking, how are you feeling for that? You did 680 in the gym. What was your body weight when you did that 680?
62 something.
Okay. I mean, that's how much water do you plan on cutting?
Actually, I will stay around 62.55, 63. That's it. And then
Yeah.
after just water cut and gut cut. Yeah.
And are you practicing leading into a water cut, gut cut, just so you know how it feels?
For gut cut, it's fine, but water cut, yeah, I never tried water cut, but I trust my nutrition coach anyway.
So I just say this because um anything you've done repeatedly gets easier and easier. This is like for life, right? And cortisol levels come up with stress. And when you do anything for the first time, you're far more stressed. Cortisol levels go up. Your body reacts. And if you've done a practice water cut, just freaking, it doesn't even have to be the full water cut. But if you just practice water cut 2 kilos, just for peace of mind, even though, yeah, I'm sure when I get there, my coach will have it. But for you, how your body will react. Because I like competed for years, and I tell you, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Even like the protocol itself, you start fine tuning from the recomp to the water loading to the sodium manipulation, if you get into that, to whatever. And it gets easier and easier. And then when you do it at Worlds, and your cortisol levels and stress will be uh, way heavier. Okay, we'll just say it that way. You're gonna be more at ease if you've done it before. You got time, you do whatever the heck you want, my man. I'm not your nutrition coach, but I would say even if just 2 kilos going through, and 2 kilos is nothing, going through the paces, going through the procedure, going through what does this feel like? What does that feel like? Water loading itself feels weird. You feel tight everywhere. You're way heavier. And when you look at the scale, you're like, oh my God. Like I remember when I did a water cut one time, my body weight was through the roof due to all the water I wasn't taking. At the time, Joey Flex is my coach. And I was like, dude, oh my God. Like, why am I so heavy? Panic levels. And he's like, calm down. It's all part of it. Don't let your cortisol levels spike because of this. It's normal. And then as we did the shower, the bath, etc., it all came out. But it's good to like see what that looks like and not have surprises, whatever. You got a little time. Talk with your coach, obviously, but the more you do anything, even if you do it once or twice ahead of time, it'll matter. And it gives your coach data points because you can do a water load and they can tell you, well, for your body weight, this is what you should take in for a water load. And for your body weight, this is when we should cut off water, stuff like that. But it's easier to, and everyone's different, just like programming for strength. Easier to do that if I have 10 data points than none. I don't care how good the coach is. It's true. You know, I don't want to have a recap post where you're like, okay, well, things didn't go as planned, but we're learning. Anyways, this is what I'm thinking here, but um, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Are you thinking about dipping your
Yeah,
toes in a couple trial sessions?
maybe it's not the time to try. Is
You
it
think it's
just too?
too late?
Yeah, it's too late to try it, I think. But I mean, like, yeah, I have a backup plan. So also have a hot bath and like sauna suit. So hopefully it helps.
Dude, look, put it this way. Worst comes to worst. If it's a really tough cut and the world record's off the table, you have 100 kilos to play with. You got 100 kilos over those fellas. So you're probably still okay to win the title and attack this at Sheffield. That's good for you. But we might see you hitting the platform and your lovely locks are shaved off. And then we'll know what happened. That's when I'll know. Because it's not that hot in Germany in June.
Yeah.
So the cut went sideways. If you come in with a shaved melon, we'll know. And have you thought of Sheffield? Are you not even allowing yourself to look ahead like that?
Actually, yeah, the first thought when I try to cut down to 59 is Sheffield, honestly.
Did you?
Yeah, because I would like to go back to Sheffield.
100%. And it'll be a whole nother conversation. So when you went to Sheffield, you tried to cut?
Hmm? After I mean after Sheffield.
Oh, sorry, after Sheffield. Okay. Sorry. I thought you said the first Sheffield you tried to
Uh,
cut. And I was
I
like,
did.
what? I was like, okay, whoa. Okay, sorry. I misunderstood. Um, so you were already thinking about Sheffield previously, anyways.
Yeah, but I think I I I would like to do it as a 66, and then yeah, the next day Mike came to talk with me, and then okay, you try 59.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And so obviously it'll be easier for you to tell where you're at after the World Championships and seeing how it felt. But honestly, okay, do you plan on doing anything in between World Championships and Sheffield? Should you win the world
World,
title?
yeah, World
World
Games.
Games, that's right. Thank you. I actually have that in my notes. What are your plans for World Games for bodyweight?
Maybe just stay around like 63, 64, and then yeah, just do my best.
Okay, so that's probably around your body weight where it would be normally.
Yeah,
Okay, and you'll run it back with Jonathan Garcia, Pena, and am I mistaken? Joe Jordan as well.
right. He looked really strong right now.
Holy freaking smokes! What is going
He's
on with Joe Jordan? Yeah, he looks incredibly strong right now. So because you're kind of in between now, floating between two different weight classes, what are you looking to do at World Games?
mm, Not quite sure about. Maybe you have to think about. Have to think about it later after Worlds because I'm my
Mm,
first prioritize right now to cut down to 59, and then just yeah, just hit the number that I expect. Yeah, that's my first thought right now, and then after that, let's talk about it later. And because after Worlds, I have to yeah travel a lot as well. I do referee and handler
mm,
in Japan a month after, and then
mm.
I'm not sure about my training.
To be honest with you, worlds, you win a world title, that's the most important. World Games is like a box you check and a phenomenal experience, but it's a little bit different based on good lift points. So you could even like that actually helps you the fact that you're slightly less body weight. So you could still win your weight class. They combine for anyone listening the two weight classes, 59, 66. Even if you get out totaled, it's different. It's a little bit different. So you could make that decision after the fact where your body weight wants to be, where your strength levels are at. But end of the day, it's the world title that's the biggest. And then obviously that'll book your invite towards Sheffield. And then you have something else to look forward to and see what you're going to do. So I think it's in World Games will be a phenomenal experience, but that's probably the best way to look at it as well. Don't overthink about it. First things first. the world
Right.
title is by far the biggest. I mean, 20 years from now, that's what's going to matter the most. And I'm getting short on time. This is I gotta go. I got a harder out than usual, but let's fast forward for a stitch. I got two questions. Number one, um, going into Sheffield. Let's say the World Championships goes as planned. You do 670. You feel good. You feel strong. Do you think, first off, how long do you think you'll stay at 59? Is this a temporary run, 1 year round? Or are you feeling as of now like 59 kilos is sustainable, doable, and you might hang in the pocket at 59?
Uh, no, I plan to do only 2 years.
2 years? Okay, well that's not bad. That's a decent run. You could do a lot in 2 years.
Because
What are
I was thinking that next year we're gonna have two Sheffield, right?
that's right.
And then what if I can like possibly win two Sheffield in the same year? And then after that, I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah, you was like, hey, adios. We're all good. 59s, do your thing. I did my best. Let me tell you something. If like Waskar wanted to popularize the 59 kilo class, and the 66s previous to Penna, Shell, 66s were the same, overlooked. Now everyone loves the 66s. Your battle when you won the biggest battle of worlds. Shell dropping down, one Sheffield as a 66. If you do that, 59s are on the map and nobody's overlooking them. And hopefully next worlds in between those two Sheffields you mentioned, which is you know what, in terms of a calendar, you're right. This was really in your favor because you get worlds, you get world games, you get freaking two Sheffields, you get another worlds in between. Like this is you don't got to stay in the pocket. You'll be back to 10,000 calories before you know it, my friend. But hopefully Waskar's back at next year's Worlds and you have a good showdown. Maybe even Fedoshenko's back. And then we
Mhm.
have a really good showdown in 59s, just like you had in Lithuania. Um, in saying that, if you're going to win two Sheffields in the same year, you're going to have to be precision on the totals you try to hit. Do you think 700 kilos will appear at one of those Sheffields by you?
Maybe more.
That
If
would
I
be
could,
at
if I can, I mean, but I think it's possible. I mean, yeah. So just like play by a card that I have.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the table for you. Listen, if you're around 63 kilos and you're doing, I seen what you do in the gym as a 66. Did you not do, now I'm trying to remember a gym total, but weren't you like 747? What was the biggest gym total you did as a 66?
755.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So, and that's as a 66, as 63 kilos, sorry, around range. For you to end up a 59, which isn't a crazy cut, like
Actually,
body weight.
when I did, it's not like I was like 67.
Okay, okay. All right. Now we're talking here. Still, it's there. The possibility of doing 700 as a 59 is there. It'd be huge if you win world titles, a couple Sheffields, and you're the first to cross that barrier. Everything changes, my friend. We're talking legendary status. I hope the best for you. Let's keep in contact. I'll talk to you at the World Championships. We'll talk before the World Championships, obviously. But we're going to be doing some live podcasts just like we did in previous years. Maybe we get you, maybe we get Mike T on there together. There'll be an interesting conversation. Mike's been on the podcast several times, a legend in the game. I don't got to tell you. But, anyways, my man, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Good luck. And I hope you achieve all these achievements because it'll be huge, not only for yourself, but for the 59 kilo class. And we'll see how it all plays out. And for everyone listening, as per usual, please do subscribe, give us high ratings. And until next time, six pack Lapadat, six up, and we are out.